Hey, welcome back to Classics Are Better. Today we're going to change the door cylinder locks on my 67 Camaro. Alright y'all, so here's the problem. Door opens, shuts reasonably well. I need to adjust the hinges some. But the issue is okay, super locked. Awesome. Hey, let's get back in the car. Oh, can't lock it anymore. And we are not unlocking at all. Nada. So, other side is pretty much just as bad because it fails about half the time. So, gonna go ahead and just replace both of these key lock cylinders. Also, you can see some of the drips in the car. It does not have perfect paint at all, but oh well. I mean, I'm gonna cut and buff it at some point, so that'll be cool. Anyway, on to it. Here are the lock cylinders I picked up for the Camaro. As you can see, it's part number 179614 for 67 to 69 Camaro. These, I think I got them either from Rick's or from Classic Industries. You can see I got the two lock cylinders. It's got the retainer clips. It's got the little weather strip gasket for the housing here, and a set of keys. Stinks to have to change the keys out, but the other ones are just totally worn out. So these are inexpensive enough to just get it done. Anyway, here we go. To start off, you're going to want to take off your door card. As you can see, mine's pretty basic. I don't have the emblem or the armrest. I actually have the armrest over in my little table of projects on the to-do list, but you know, that can be long. So we are going to take off the door latch and the window crank here. Behind each one of these is a little C-clip looking clip that just grasps around the inside of the handle. So you can either use a trim tool that's got a little Y prongs on here to pop them loose, or really if you can just kind of hook one side with one of these clips and pull it loose, you're going to be good. Get one loose here. There we go. Alright, so you can see right here, here's the little clip. It just goes in a hole on each side and holds it around the little cog here on the door latch. When you're doing all this stuff and getting ready to go, make sure you keep track of these, and also make sure your window is up so that it's not in the way of getting to the door assembly and everything. So same thing for the window crank. Make sure you do not lose these, or your crank will just come right off. So I'm trying to storm in there. Okay, so now to take your door card off, it's just under this little chrome lip, and then there's two prongs on each side, approximately here, 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 and here. Be gentle taking them off so you don't just rip your door card, because you need them to be strong enough to put it back on. There we go. Be gentle with them, they're old. Just slide it out. You can see this one hung on here. I'll get it out with a pair of pliers later. But it just pops out, these little clips. Just hold it in here. So with that off to the side, now you can see we have access to all the door lock mechanisms. The door lock mechanism is going to be right here. The door lock cylinder is going to be, you know, where you actually put your key in the door on the other side, and it has some hooks on the back with a rod that goes into the actual lock mechanism, which mine just isn't engaging that rod, so that's why we're going to change the door lock cylinder. Right here, zoom in, it's supposed to be in this rectangle channel, and then when you turn the lock, it turns this, and that turns the actual locking mechanism in the door. So what we're changing, when you say we're changing a lock cylinder, like where the key goes, I'm trying to look through the phone and get my finger, is this cylinder right here. To get it out, if you see this right here, we're going to pull that towards the car, essentially, away from the thing, and it is just pinched on there. And I will show you what I mean. So here's like the driver's side we're putting in. You have your key lock cylinder. You're going to want to have the opening down when you install it. You put your little weather strip grommet around it, and then what's going to happen is that little L bracket I showed you that has the rectangle on it, you'll clip it on to this, sorry, looking through my phone, like that, and then slide it through, and I'll show you when I pull the old one out. I got to reuse it. And then this clamp, or this C-clip, like giant C-clip, will just push through on the side. I used a handle of a hammer to push it that way, and then you're going to use a pair of channel locks to pull the old one out. But essentially, it just, the bend on this pushes on this and keeps it snug up against the sheet metal of the door. And you're going to want to pull back on that clip until you get it out, and that is going to free your key so that it is nice and loose. You can see my paint's a little torn up right next to that, but it's okay. Alright, so just got this spray painted, took it off since everything else was new. I just coated this with some black rust resistant paint. Sorry if the camera's wobbling a little bit there. I'm trying to hold it between my knees while I do this. So you can see on the back of the new lock cylinder there's a little half circle, and you can see the little matching half circle on here. Get it on, you can see how it twists for when you're locking with the key. You will have this little clip that goes on there. You're going to want it to have the little tabs up, and this little center is going to end up right in there. Alright, so I'm in, and then you're going to want to push this up. Mine isn't wanting to move super easy, so you can always get your persuader here and persuade it a little bit. Be gentle. Last thing you want to do is mess this stuff up, but should be able to get her to move a little bit. Let's see here. Close, just off a little. Oh, I think we're there. All right, so that is in that little hole about as best as we can get it. Make sure you get your weather stripping on before you do all that kind of good stuff. And here is the unit. Let's see, get it ready to go in the car. And what I was saying is, see how you'll have the circle down, and when it's installed it'll be like this, and this little hook will grab the little rod for the actual locking mechanism. And just in case it's hard to see when it's in the car, all we're going to do is slide this in through the door, get this, put it behind these little tabs right here and by the door, and it'll just put, use pressure to hold it against the door. Put the door card back on and you're done. So make sure that is through there before you get this sucker locked on. You will take this tab, make sure it has the L part out, so it'll slide in there like this. And so I use my hand, try and get her snug. You can take a little hammer like this and just use the handle side and just kind of Boom, boom, boom. Pop her in until she's locked. And should be good to go. Alright guys, so now that the door lock cylinder is in the car, it's working. It's time to put the door card back on and put the window crank and door handle, and then you're done. So again, when you're putting on the door card, it has these little tabs that you just have to get in these little holes. There's 4 and 4, 2 on each side. Pretty self-explanatory. Just make sure you get up under this trim panel. Kind of lead with your finger to find that crank. There we go. Get in with the holes here. Once you get one in, the rest are a whole lot easier. Alright, so door card's back on, and we'll get our window crank. Get your little C-clip and just fit her on the edges here. And pop it in. So that is working. And same thing with your door handle. Get your little clip, pop it in the holes on each side so it'll lock on, and then get it even with the splines and engage. It's on there. I can feel it, and you're done. Alright, so that's how you change your door lock cylinder. So it should work. Put the key in. Should be locked. Pull it out. We are locked. Now let's see if we can solve the problem here. Ta-da! Thank y'all for watching.